Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Refugee Welcome Collective Lunch and Learn series. In these sessions, we aim to bring interesting and timely information to you, supporters of refugees. Whether you're a volunteer, a community sponsor, a resettlement agency staff, a local advocate, or just someone who's interested in learning more, we hope that you enjoyed today's session, Impacted Voice, Clients Paired with Community Sponsors. Refugee Welcome Collective collaborates with partners to provide in-depth training programs, weekly learning sessions, resources, and on-demand technical assistance for sponsors, practitioners at resettlement agencies, refugees paired with sponsors, community and institutional partners, and others to support quality community sponsorship programs across the United States. Go ahead to the next slide, please, Grace. Just some housekeeping. As a reminder for everyone joining the call today, there's a control panel in your upper right-hand corner that will allow you to submit questions through the questions box. There will be ample time at the end of the webinar for a Q&A. Everyone on today's webinar is automatically muted. However, if you have any tech issues, please raise your hand through the control panel or submit a question in the questions box so that we can assist you. Additionally, the presentation, any resources, and a recording will be sent to everyone following today's webinar. This brings us to our panelists for today, Nasir and Malia, and they are with us. They are not able to share their camera, but they are will be able to share their audio and will be speaking with us. So I'm going to just go ahead and get started and ask both Nasir and Malia just to introduce yourselves. Do you mind sharing anything just generally about yourself that you'd like to share?
Thank you very much. Thanks for an invitation. Hello, everyone. My name is Nasir Nouri.
And my name is Maliha Sadat.
Yeah, we are Afghan refugee, which we come 4 months before to Columbus, Indiana.
Yes, yes, to Columbus, Indiana. That's great. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Is there anything that you want to or feel comfortable sharing about just your experience before, maybe if you feel like sharing anything about what you did or you know, what you were doing in Afghanistan before the evacuation. Like I said, only share what you feel comfortable sharing, please.
Actually, I'm a journalist, and I have experienced more than 12 years working with different medias, and especially I was working with an organization by the name of NICE Supporting Open Media in Afghanistan, which was advocating actually for the journalists. And I was manager the department of by the name of Media Watch. I was manager there, and actually my specific work was to advocate for journalists who was treating, who they have any issue with governments or with any other individuals. And also, I was assistant professor in journalism section many years, and I had a good connection with the different medias in Afghanistan. And also my wife.
Yeah. I have my MBA degree from one of well-known university from Afghanistan, and I have 8 years. I had actually 8 years of working experience from a national and international organization from Afghanistan. It was my last job was with the United Nations Development Program. I was like a mini officer, and we were working with the Ministry of Interior Affairs in Afghanistan. So My previous job was with one of like Norwegian-based organization, and we was working in education center in Afghanistan. So this is what we have done in Afghanistan.
Thank you so much. Yeah, basically, you know, I want to kind of talk about and ask you all questions about your experience being welcomed by a community sponsor. So when, you know, when you, can you tell us maybe a little bit about that initial experience of when you knew you would be going to Columbus, Indiana, and that when you knew you had a community sponsor organization there to welcome you? What was that like, or how did that come about for you?
Actually, I have a good memory, and that was our good experience in our life when we come to Indianapolis. I think that was midnight, about one or like this, and there was three guys. They were waiting for us, and when we were very tired after a long travel and with kids especially, then we visit them in the airport, and they were actually they were waiting for us. And when we saw them, they were very friendly, and they welcomed us with. And I have in my memory they have very good communication with us, and also the journey coming in Columbus started from the airport with them, and we are friends right now, and they helped us a lot, and even we are going. Sometimes they inviting us, and sometimes we inviting them, and we have connection, a good connection, and they are our our family members. You know, we left everything, unfortunately, in Afghanistan, our relatives, our country, our everything. Now, fortunately, we have good friends in the United States, which they are very lovely people, and they are supportive people, which they are supporting us till now.
Yeah. And when we meet them in the airport, so we was like expecting someone, maybe they will be case worker or someone. And that time we was not like knowing as much about EWC, that's CWS, that's how their work like be. So when we meet them, there was like friendly people. Even they had some gift for us, for welcoming us. They had some toys for kids, and kids was so happy. And when they see them, they were so friendly and talking with kids. And they was like coming from Columbus to Indianapolis for picking up us to the Columbus, and they shared a lot of things in the way with us. And when we came here, there was like for about 5 and 6 families, and one of them was actually supporting us for the groceries, which was the important thing. And we do not have access to maybe like buses, and we don't have car. And what other family was responsible for our health issues, like our doctor appointment and things, and they were taking us to the doctor. And the other families was responsible for the transportation issue. They helped us to get our learning permit. They showed me actually how to drive, and they helped also Nasir to get his license and things. And the other family was responsible for our education. They take us to the education center, and yeah, so they helped us a lot, and we did not feel that we don't have any family members here, or we was like so comfortable here.
And one thing more, when I had concern when we are coming to Columbus, that was my first time which hear about the Columbus. Even I didn't hear the about Indiana at the past. But when we come here, you know, my concern was maybe we are going to a hotel and we should wait maybe 1 month or 2 months again in a hotel. That was very hard to me with kids. Then they directly they bring us to our home, and when they opened the door, I was thinking maybe it's an empty home and there is nothing staff or like this. But fortunately, everything was organized, and we have good memory. Even we opened the refrigerator, there was everything on it, and we didn't have any issue in the home. It made me happy, and that's a good memory, I think, in my life. Yeah.
As we have spent a lot of time in army camp in Qatar, it was like 3.5 months in Qatar and 1 month in Virginia in a hotel. So when we came here, actually we had a very good apartment in Kabul as well. It was big. So as we have spent time in like, especially in the Qatar in the army camp, there was like 1 room and we were staying with 3 kids and that. So when we come here and opened the door of our apartment, it was well furnished and we were so happy and comfortable to seeing all of these. And yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. So it sounded like, you know, you in Qatar and in Virginia, you know, you were sort of in an army base or, you know, in a hotel, and that's what you were sort of assuming would be the case when you arrived in Indiana. But instead, there were volunteers, this community-sponsored group, who was there at the airport to welcome you and was able to take you to an apartment, and not just an empty apartment, but a furnished apartment with, you know, groceries already, you know, stocked and there. And that was sounds like that was a really good memory and a pleasant welcome. A bit of a surprise to you, but a welcome surprise for you.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Was there, and you all described a number of different things. It sounds like that your group sort of organized in terms of someone or a group of people helped you with like your medical things, and another small group or members of the sponsorship group, you know, helped with like driving and getting your, you know, driver's license and things like that. So those are all important things. I love highlighting those things for potential co-sponsor groups and other co-sponsor groups. We think that's a really great way to organize, and it sounds like it worked really well for you all. Can I ask a question about, was there one particular thing that stood out to you as being really the most memorable or the most meaningful to you, as a way of you all feeling truly welcome here in your new home?
I think actually whatever they have done for us, all of them was important because of their time, and their like just gave us their time, and they did lot of things with us. So I think we appreciate all of things they have done with us, what they have done, all of them was important for us. And one thing which I forget, they are also helping us to find jobs. And they have shared our CV with their colleagues and their friends. I have actually an interview, and I'm also looking for job, and they also helped my husband to apply for the jobs. So
Yep.
I think we are appreciating their time, and whatever they have done for us, all of that was important for us. And they are so on time. Whenever we are asking them that we have this problem, they are just arriving on time and they are trying to solve our problem.
Yeah. One thing more, which I want to add, with the compare of other organizations, which my friends, which we were together in Qatar, sometimes when I'm talking about our situation and about our friends, which they are supporting us, they are shocked why there is no one to help us. Like you have a lot of thing to do, but there is a lot of people which they are helping you, and your problem is solving on time. And at the beginning, we had a problem with receiving the documents like social security number and also a work permit and like this stuff. But the organization which was supporting us, especially CWS and their friends, they tried hard to work on our documents, and we received our documents on time, and now we are eligible to work. Now we have our document. For example, we have our driving license. And one thing more, even they tried to find the car for us. Now we have a van which they find from. I didn't meet the person who donate the van, but they did. Now we have a car as well, and even we can go anywhere or whatever we want. Yeah.
Yeah, you bring up a really important point. So both of you, as you know, as Malia said, really all of the things that they did, you know, combined to be such a warm and important welcome. Everything that they've done has been so helpful, including helping you all find jobs. And Nasir, as you mentioned, that you know, when you talk with others, with other friends, others, you know, other Afghan evacuees, that some of their experience has been different, maybe because they didn't have a co-sponsor group working with them. And I know that just for everyone, that sometimes documents going slow, EAD, you know, employment authorization documentation cards, Social Security cards, things like that, that unfortunately take, you know, longer than anyone wants them to take. Can be really frustrating. Can prevent people from getting the jobs that they need so they can support themselves and their family, work towards that self-sufficiency. But you also highlight, yeah, just having someone on your team. You know, having a bunch of people, friends, welcoming you and helping to problem solve, because problems come up. Things don't work out perfectly, and then to have people really putting in the energy and time and effort and money to meet whatever the need is, whatever that problem is, whatever the need is, and to do that together so that you all can do the work of continuing, you know, to build your lives here. Yeah, it's I wish this is part of what this series is meant to do, is to encourage new co-sponsors, to encourage community sponsorship around the country, because we do know that clients do better, they do better faster when they have a group of people welcoming them truly into their community and have that extra, you know, support and guidance. So that's partly what we're trying to do. So we thank you so much for being here and talking with us, and hopefully encouraging more community groups to sprout up across the country. Was there? Can I shift for a second and ask you? Was there anything that was particularly difficult, or was just really hard, or unexpected during this process of being welcomed, that maybe you wish could have gone differently or something like that? Is there anything like that you can think of?
Actually, it goes when we were in Virginia. We were thinking we should stay in Virginia there, but unfortunately they sent us to Indiana. But on that situation, we had a little bit information about Virginia, and we were thinking there is Afghan families and something like this, and our relatives and friends, they were living there. We thought maybe if we stay in Virginia, that will be good for us. But we didn't know if we come to Columbus or Indiana, especially in Columbus, we can make new friends, and there is a lot of people. They are very supporting people. They are ready to help us. But when we come here, now we are happy here to yeah. And we made a lot of friends, and we have here 6 other Afghan families as well. They are living, and our community is going to increase, because at the first here was just 4 families, and right now 2 other families came from another states as well. And right now we are 6 families, and we are happy here, and we live together, and they are also near to us. And also the other good thing is we have here a mosque, and yeah, we can go there for praying, and sometimes for Islamic studies for our case. Everything is prepared here, and yeah.
Actually, there was no previous communication in Virginia when we was there. They just told us you are going to Indiana, and that was first time I have heard the name of Indiana. So I was getting shocked that I don't know how it will look like, because we don't have any friend, and there was no previous communication, because if there was any, we didn't know that there will be a group of a group of people, they are helping us. So yeah, we just came here. And one thing more which I would like to add, because you also working in this issue more, I think whenever they are selecting people for the status, they should look at their working background and their career, that in which state they will be going fit. For example, we have worked in non-profit organization in Afghanistan, like United Nations and other organization. And in the area which we have come here, there is no non-profit organization. So it's somehow difficult for us to go to the job market. But still, for example, whenever I'm applying for a job in Columbus, Indiana, I'm just reading their job, duties and responsibilities. This all are related to profit organization. There is companies, but there is no non-profit organization. If we were maybe in some of the states which they have non-profit organization, somewhere in Maryland or Washington or Virginia or New York, maybe we will be getting fit good. Now we are appreciating what you have done, the community for us, everything. Yeah. But it's actually something which is related to our background. We have working experience about 8 years, and my husband has about 10 years and 10 or 12 years. Yeah. So it's so difficult for us to completely shift from our career to somewhere else, which I'm doing now. So yeah, one part this, if it's considered during the distribution of refugees to the states, it will be good.
Yeah, those are great points all around. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, the issue, it sounded like one of the issues was communication, you know, while you were in Virginia at the base, or at or you know, at the sort of distribution sort of you know, center from there out, that communication could have been better, to make sure, you know, because certainly I think many people here in the U.S., you know, we generally know, we've heard of Afghanistan, we may have heard of Kabul, but that's probably about it. Most of us wouldn't know if, you know, if we were going there and going to some you know, part of Afghanistan, we probably would have never heard. And you were, you know, you weren't familiar with Indiana, you'd never heard of about that before. And so, you know, some more information about where you were going might have made you feel more comfortable, and as opposed to just being told where to go. I definitely understand how frustrating that must have been. And certainly, this is absolutely an important point that many refugees, you know, experience, how frustrating it can be when you have a great deal of knowledge and experience, work experience and education, to be doing a specific job, or to be, you know, in your case, working for a nonprofit, you know, in administration, but then not being able to find a job that, you know, that pays as what you were used to before it, and what your experience would suggest. I know it's very frustrating for many people when they first arrive here. And I guess I just want to offer that sometimes it can take some time, but hopefully you will build those connections, and those opportunities will present themselves. It might take longer than it should, of course, but I really believe that you will find some opportunities, perhaps in the field, and utilizing your experience. I wouldn't doubt that eventually you will find some opportunities. But I do hear what you're saying, is that where you were sent, there weren't a lot of open, you know, nonprofit administration type jobs. And so, yeah, I absolutely understand that is frustrating. And you point to a great point about the need for better communication up front, and, you know, so that people feel more comfortable where they're going. But it does sound like you are happy with, sort of, in the end, you got, you know, the decision, or that you went to Indiana. You thought you would stay in Virginia, but eventually, when you did go to Indiana, there were people there ready, and, you know, ready to welcome you, and there was a small Afghan community where you got to, you know, be a part of that growing community.
Yeah. Actually, for time being, we are happy here, and there is a lot of people they are working as, and they have recommended me for some of the position in well-known organization here, and I will be so happy working for them, and I'm sure they will offer me something because they had interview and they'll see my work experience and my qualification. I told this because it's like a survey and you are using this source. I just mentioned this for the people after us they are distributing to the states. For time being, we are thankful to the volunteer community and to the office they are helping us. I just told this because of the other refugee distribution.
Absolutely, and you are absolutely right, and I think we definitely understand. You know, what you're. It sounds like you are. You're very appreciative and thankful, but also you're trying to help others who come after you. You know, and try that's I think what all of us are doing, is try to improve the system, try to get better at communicating with each other, and working so that we can learn from these experiences and try to do better next time, in all ways. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing your experience and sharing your knowledge with us. I would like to, we're at 12:30, so I would like to switch and ask to see if any members of the audience have any questions that they would like to add. Let me just kind of read this here for a second. Yeah, so we're going to begin answering questions submitted during today's presentation. As a reminder, you can still submit questions through the questions pane if you're an attendee in your control panel. Again, please use the questions tab, not the chat. And I don't think anyone has submitted any questions yet, but I will, I'll wait as they do. A couple of other follow-ups for you. So the community group met you at the airport, right? They then took you to an apartment that they had provided the furniture and groceries and things like that for you. And then when did you, so you saw them that first day. They picked you up, right, from the airport. They took you to your apartment. And then how often did you see them after that? Did you see them every day, every couple of days, once a week? How did that kind of look?
Actually, for the first week and second week, just they were coming morning, afternoon, and they were asking us what do you need, what's the problem, and even they had concern about the door lock,
yeah.
the door lock, and even about how to use the air condition, and also the equipments inside of the home. They had a lot of concern, but we told them, yeah, we were using this kind of things before as well, and we are familiar with them. Don't be afraid about this kind of things. If we had some issue or some problem, we will call you, and also we can text you, and then you can come and solve our problem. But every week they meet actually Google schedule. Then everything was on it, and everything was organized and on time. For example, doctor appointment, for example, grocery shopping, for example, meeting with someone, or especially with meeting with CWS, which we had every week, a meeting with the representative of the CWS. Yeah, everything was organized, and they were on time, and they helped us a lot, and we have a good memory from everything and everyone.
Yeah, and one more thing, whenever we are going to, like, we was in education center for English classes, we was in 4th level, and the end of 4th level, we just did some test, and we came to the 4th level. And whenever we are going to that education center, there was people from the volunteer group. They was coming to our house, and they are taking care of the kids as well.
Yeah.
For example, if we both had some doctor appointment or some meeting, so there was people, they were coming to our house, and they are taking care of the kids as well.
That's great. That's fantastic. And it sounds like it was very organized, and it also sounds like they communicated clearly with you to let you know when things were happening, what was going to be happening next, so you could sort of plan and be comfortable with what was happening. Was there? So I'm gonna. There have been some questions here from the audience. So if that's okay, I'd like to read those. One person is asking, is there anything, or was there something that community sponsors have done that is unhelpful, or was it caused difficulty in some way?
Honestly, no. yeah, everything which they done for us, that was our need. Based on our need, they planned everything. Even sometimes they suggested some visiting some places or going somewhere, and for example, for kids, swimming pool for kids or somewhere else. Then we were decide to go or not, based off our time and our being with kids and like this. But there was nothing special to that was a pressure for us or like this. Yeah, there was
actually,
nothing else.
they was asking us if we need something. We were just asking them we need this, and they were supporting us. If they would like to tell us something, or they would like to offer something to us, they were just asking if there was our agreement. So then we were like going to that.
Even for example, every Friday we have prayer time. Even that was in our schedule, and they respect our time to attend the prayer in the mosque. And because of that, they didn't schedule anything on that time. You know, it was a kind of respect, and we respect their idea and their which they did to us. Yeah,
that's great. It sounds like they were respectful of your time, and they were and what you wanted to do. And whenever they suggested something that they could offer or do something, it sounded like you were able to say yes or no, or you got to make your own choices, and they respected your choices. And I think that's really important, as opposed to sometimes people, volunteers, maybe just do things for a client and without sort of really asking permission, or without enough respect for for the client's own decisions about what they do and don't want to do, or what they want to have happen or not. So I think that's an important point. Another question that came in. So this is kind of a question about how long. So how long do you think it's appropriate to sort of to have a sponsor group? How do you see that sort of time commitment?
Actually, the organization which is supporting us, it's for 3 months, and the church which is a group of volunteers from the church, and they are providing some how can I tell that, some supports till December.
Yeah, some financial support, and also they are paying our rent and our utilities till December this year. It's around 6 months. 3 months is doing the organization, and 6 months I think doing this. They are started in July, and they will be doing till December. And I think that which you asked about the time period, I think it's depend on the families and their education background and the area and the job opportunities. If the organization like help the people, because we are unfamiliar completely, we are blind, and in the startup we even know where to apply for the job, which organization is good, these things. If someone like support the families with the job opportunities and they are able to do the job, so I think the less amount of support is enough for them. If some family do not have because there's different families, and there is like different in their abilities for doing jobs.
For example,
so, yeah, it's
language
depend on
problem.
the families. For example, if we found a job, because we both of us would like to work, we do not need any support. But till 6 months, I think it's a good period of time, 6 months or 7 months. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Oh, go ahead.
It's the ability of the families and the job opportunities of the area.
Absolutely, I think that's a good point. It really does. There's so many different factors that can play into it, including language and job opportunities, the costs of living in that area, and it also sounds like the commitment that was required was at least 3 months that the community sponsored group committed to with that organization. But it sounds like, and like many times it happens, the group actually is willing to do more like 6 months or 9 months or a year if needed, and that the kind of relationship can change over time. It can be more supportive in the beginning, and then still be supportive, but a little bit less supportive, a little bit less money, a little bit less time doing things, because in theory you all are able to do more things. You've learned how to drive, so you can take yourself places. You've learned how to use the bus if there's a bus. You've learned where the grocery stores are. You've learned where the medical facilities are. So once you've gotten a job, then you can do more things, and you can afford to support yourself more. So but it's a good question, and it sounds like maybe 6 months sounds like a good general number, of course, depending on all of those other factors. I'm going to go to the next one here. So this person is commenting on that you all have a great strength in your English. How do you think sponsorship would have gone if you didn't have a good grasp of English, as a lot of other newcomers do? How would that have been different, or how would your experience be different if you didn't have as good of language as you do?
Actually, language is very important. If we couldn't speak, maybe we can't make a schedule our appointment for anyone. Then when we have a doctor appointment, how to communicate with the doctor, and how to tell about your problem, it's very important. At the beginning, there was some facilities about interpreters, but especially when I was in a hospital, there was a lot of different words which they are using in health sector or like this. I had some problem. I want to accept my excuse about our English, because just we started speaking 5 months before.
Yeah, when we came here.
Yeah, but we are trying our best to to express our feeling and our thought, but if we have problem, exactly, we have problem, and accept our excuse for our language. But language is very important at the beginning. Those people and those families which they have problem with language, they couldn't improve themselves, and they are not in that level which we are here right now. For example, when I am applying for a job, there is an interview. I have to pass the interview, no one else. There is no interpreter, there is no one to help you during the communication. If someone can't speak or can't solve his or her problem during the interview, then he or she can get the job, you know. With this kind of speaking, I could reach to get my first job in United States. Now I'm employee of Honda manufacturing, assembly manufacturing in the that's in Greensburg, and my wife is also trying to get her job, and she's mashallah, her English is better than me as well.
It's the same. Yeah. So I have about 2 interviews with one of well-known and international company named by Comments. And it's such a great company, and they promised me we will offer you something, but they are actually also helping because you just keep applying and share the link with us, then we will interview you and we will definitely give you some job, maybe in 2 and 3 months. So yeah, when people do not know English, even they cannot pass the exam, in some states there is opportunity for them to give this learner permit for driving and license test in Persian in their own language. But in our state, especially in this city, there is no that opportunity or facility to take the translator and things. There was like people, they was like given the test maybe 5 and 6 times and they got failed. And after that, they went to other state and they hire a translator and they paid for the translator and they passed the learner permit test in maybe 5 and 6 months after they came here. But we both passed that test in our first month. So yeah, this is the difference. And they should focus on their English. There is some opportunity, some school, and the people are going twice a week, I think, which is less for them, and they should be like, they should do more focus on their language, and they should go every day for the classes. And without English in this country, it's impossible.
Yeah, it really can be a big barrier when someone doesn't have at least some English. But you know, there certainly are some opportunities even without. But you know, no doubt it's a different experience, and certainly that would have a profound effect on the sponsorship and the sponsorship sort of relationship possibly. But there's also lots of things that go beyond language. It's intent and kindness and friendliness and really, you know, welcome and trying to connect that I think in the end still is very impactful. I'm gonna go ahead and end because we're just a minute or two later, but I just wanted to say thank you so much to Nasir and Malia. I really appreciate you both taking the time to speak with us, to share your experiences with other potential community sponsor groups and community sponsorship and refugee resettlement agency staff around the country. We really appreciate you taking the time here. And I will follow up with you via email here soon. Thanks again to everyone who attended today's RWC Lunch and Learn. If you have any questions, please contact info@refugeewelcome.org. Once you leave today's webinar, you'll receive a follow-up email with a link to view the recording of today's webinar, as well as descriptions for upcoming RWC Lunch and Learns. On behalf of Refugee Welcome Collective, thank you for joining us and have a great rest of your day. Thank you all again.
Thank you so much. Have a nice time. Bye.
Bye.